Hello, and welcome to Zap the Gender Pay Gap, the podcast series where we expose the elephant in the room. The elephant's name, the gender pay gap. I am coming to you from Memphis, Tennessee, located on the banks of the mighty Mississippi River. Nestled in the southwest corner of the state, Memphis is home to the blues, barbecue, and so much more. I am your host, Gwendolyn Tucker.
Thank you so very much for joining me for this episode of Zap the Gender Pay Gap. I am your host, Gwendolyn Tucker. Look for me on Apple, Spotify, YouTube, and other platforms where you find your favorite podcast. I would love to be one of your favorites, and please don't forget to like, subscribe, or leave a review. I'd really appreciate that too. I know you've been waiting for today's episode because I've been chomping at the bit to get it to you. Navigating the corporate landscape takes savvy. That is especially true when it comes to negotiating pay. So, when I came across a Harvard Business Review article on why women don't negotiate their job offers, my curiosity got the best of me. I just love reading articles from Harvard Business Review. And I was so excited to receive an invitation to join the Harvard Business Review Advisory Council. Membership is currently by invitation only, and as a member of this unique online research community, I get the opportunity to share my views and opinions on current business topics and issues, as well as share in research findings and preview new content. So you can only imagine that when I saw the title of this article, while women don't negotiate their job offers, I immediately thought of you. Want to know what it said? Research shows that women are more reticent or hesitant than men to negotiate their salary offers. For instance, one study of graduating MBA students found that half of the men had negotiated their job offers compared to only 1/8 of the women. This pattern has been replicated in survey studies of working adults and in experiments. It begs the question, why? Is this a confidence problem? Is negotiation a skill for which men are simply better socialized than women? Why leave money on the table? That article was written in 2014. So I decided to fast forward to today to see what, if anything, has changed when it comes to women hesitating when it comes to negotiating pay. Well, lo and behold, I stumbled upon an article by Glassdoor with almost the exact title. It was written in 2023, so you know it caught my eye. Here's the title: Why Women Don't Negotiate Salary, and in parens, but they should. Now, if you don't know who Glassdoor is, they just happen to be an organization whose mission is to make work life better. This was taken directly from their website. Get ahead with Glassdoor. We're serving up trusted insights and anonymous conversation so you'll have the goods you need to succeed. And then this: every day, we're inspired to build a healthier, more transparent work community for all. Through the products we make and the communities we create, we're breaking down barriers that lead to discrimination, pay gaps, and toxic work environments. Now, speaking of pay transparency, in case you missed it, please check out the episode where I discuss the why behind pay transparency. I think you will be enlightened. Now, if you're like me, you're curious to hear what Glassdoor has to say about why women don't negotiate salary. According to their research, women are less likely than men to negotiate their salaries, even though they are just as successful when they do. They dug a little deeper to uncover several motivations for and hesitations with negotiating pay. This is what they had to say. The primary reason: fear of consequences. Next, lack of confidence. And third, not feeling equipped for the conversation. These were all factors that deter some women from having the conversation. While a number of the professionals surveyed felt empowered to advocate for themselves, many others were hesitant. One respondent said, "I'm not very confident when negotiating a salary because I don't know my potential employer's style or demeanor well enough at that point. They may think I'm being too forward." Another said, "I assume they have an amount in mind that's already been budgeted, and I may not know that figure. Do any of these sound familiar? Well, if so, know this: timidity has unintended consequences." My express purpose for creating ZAP, the gender pay gap, is to reveal what has been hiding in plain sight. There's this elephant in the room, and it has a preference for those who wear pink. Glassdoor stated that the gender pay gap in the US is hardly a secret. I would say that may be the case for researchers, employers, and some who are employed in the workforce. But based on my conversations and research, the gender pay gap has been kept secret from those who are impacted the most, the women who are trapped in the jaws of this elephant. The gender pay gap has remained largely unchanged for 20 years, hovering between 80 to 83%. And this has been confirmed by a number of very reputable sources. One of the primary drivers behind the pay gap is that women aren't negotiating their salaries as often as men, but it isn't because they don't try. In fact, Glassdoor research shows that 7 in 10 women have tried to negotiate their salaries, and nearly 6 in 10 said they were successful. As for the remaining 32%, the data shows that women fear they'll be penalized in the long run for negotiating a raise. If they insist on asking now, they believe they will have to suffer the consequences later. Can you relate? When it comes to evaluating an offer, do you hesitate, or do you feel empowered to advocate for yourself? Does fear of hearing no prevent you from negotiating your pay? Well, as a colleague would often say, it's always no until you ask. The question for you is not why women hesitate to negotiate pay, but why, when you're in a position to negotiate pay, you hesitate. Is it due to fear, lack of confidence, or perhaps you don't know how? Well, I do, and I'd be happy to assist you with that. To set up a call to find out how I can show you how to close your pay gap and to determine if we are a good fit, just message me. Go to gwendolynjtucker.com and click on contact. A link is in the description below. You can reach out to me there. Women, you work hard for your money. I can show you how to take home all of it. A great big thank you for joining me for this episode of my podcast. Today, you heard some reasons why women don't negotiate. Join me next time as I pull back the curtain on 5 moments of salary negotiation and how to make the best of them. It's the only way to zap your gender pay gap. If you like what you hear here, please invite a woman in your world to listen in too. If you missed a previous episode, please take a listen. Look for me on Apple, Spotify, YouTube, and other platforms where you find your favorite podcasts. I would love to be one of your favorites. I look forward to seeing you here next Wednesday at noon Central Standard Time for the next episode of Zap the Gender Pay Gap. Until then, please be well.
Thank you for joining me for this episode of Zap the Gender Pay Gap. Please rate, review, and subscribe to or follow me wherever you get your favorite podcast. I am your host, Gwendolyn Tucker. Thanks so much for listening. See you next time.